Is Sebastian here?
Yes.
Sebastian.
Yep.
Hi everyone. See you all here. Do we have any demos today?
I think Zoltan wants to show us a module which makes some coffee inside our town.
You already have that.
I don't know of such module, but it's a good idea.
Yeah, I'm sure.
It will be ready this week.
Yeah, I have nothing.
We are really desperate for bug triage, actually, I guess.
Okay.
But Zoltan is going to make an announcement about the presentation. I wasn't there, which is bad, but he made a presentation at the meetup, but he's not here yet. I just pinged him on Skype.
Sebastian, do you want to share your screen and start triage when Zoltan is here?
No, actually I don't want.
You don't want to?
But I will do it because I'm forced to it.
You're
So
forced.
I thought that November was the Movember month, and
I did it last year.
Yeah, but Adrian just shaved everything instead.
I'll see if I can find the picture of me from last year.
They're way too creepy. I couldn't deal with it.
He shaved everything.
I just noticed I was muted. I was speaking about the demo all the time, so oops, that sucks.
I fixed it. But he doesn't know. because you did...
you bastard. You bastard. I heard something. Yeah, so I would like to do a demo at the end of the meeting about the dynamic shapes editing in a dashboard.
Again? I think I saw this demo last year, no?
Yeah, but the library I was using, the Razor engine, it was abandoned for a couple months, and they are still working on that. And there's been a lot of changes, especially regarding the Razor 2. So I implemented all that stuff, added caching, and yeah, cleaned it up, and it's really nice right now. So.
Right. Great, and I thought about that. Yeah, this weekend when I did I can show it to you because I published some new layouts for the projection. Yeah. Simple stuff, but very useful. I don't know what is not in the core, and I raised it as a module. Maybe we'll put it in core, but at least it's in a module if someone wants to play with it right now. So it's really useful. And yes, I thought about you and this feature because it could be, and I explicitly renamed one of my layouts to something else because I was using the templated layout name, and I renamed it to shape layout because I wanted to have it available, templated layout for your stuff. So a templated layout could be directly edited into the dashboard with your Razor editor. So. Yeah, so let's do it and add it into the module. I'm sure everyone understands the meaning of a template. After my demo. Okay, I demo it. Might be interesting. Cool. And then
Yeah, just one thing about the feature I built. So it's not only about editing the shapes. So it's about having shapes held in a database, not without any files at all.
I know, but I think it's also complementary to have a...
Yeah, it is. To editor, just Razor editor.
Complementary, yeah. I mean, also useful. It's linked. Okay. Triage 80 bugs. Wow. What do we have for 107 already?
It's been 3 weeks.
Yeah. Who cares? Content type, edit placement, losses order. Okay. This is the only one we have open for 1.7. And I
Proposed for 1.7. There are
oh yeah, propose 1.7.
there are active ones.
Oh. Oh, okay. So I think last time, it was a long time ago, last time we decided to triage, we said that if it's a bug or regression, it's open for 1.7. If it's otherwise, it's for future version, and the future version will have to be triaged to prioritize things. Okay? Okay. So all proposed. Okay. Let's start. So we stopped triaging at 12:40. Okay. So we have 20 minutes of demo, and we can stop then. Benedek, do you agree? Okay, he agrees because he doesn't care.
Okay.
He wasn't paying attention.
Yeah, he doesn't care. That's it. Syscache is breaking taxonomies and our projector. Okay. Bug. Okay, so 1.7. We have to fix it for 1.7 if it's real. Could not load file assembly, warm up, blah 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 blah. So actually I found an issue with this assembly, which is that the file version was not right. So hello, please someone. Hello, hi there. Let's put it for 1.7 just in case this is a real issue. And adding additional parts to content part record doesn't not work until mappings.bin is deleted. Huh. Adding additional parts to content part record. I don't understand.
So I'm actually glad there is a repro here, because I've seen something like that happen several times, where I've had to delete mappings.bin, but it's never been very clear what was causing it.
So I can explain you how it works internally, because I made it.
Sure.
If I remember. So mappings.bin is just a binary serialization of the mappings of an Hibernate, such that when we start again Orchard, we don't have to reconfigure it. We just load the configuration. There is no Fluent and Hibernate coming on and trying to create auto mappings. We just load it. It's faster. So the question is, how do we invalidate these mappings? These mappings are invalidated whenever there is a change in the list of record definitions. So we create a hash of all the records. That's what is called the records blueprint. Okay, so this is a list of all the records which are found into every activated module, enabled module. And this, if this hash changes, then we delete the mappings.bin and we regenerate a new one. Which means if you enable or disable a module, then there's a new mappings loaded. What is this issue about? I don't understand the title of the issue. Adding additional parts to a content part record. What does it mean?
I don't understand what that means. There is already a problem.
There is an issue around that file, but I don't know what that is.
So what might be also an issue is if dynamic compilation is not working, which is the case in 1.6, okay, you remember? There's a bug for dynamic compilation in some cases. And you change a record file, it won't be detected. So the module might not be rebuilt. And then the hash might not be found. So I will open it, but that might explain. Maybe I will try to repro it with because the fix for the dynamic compilation has already been applied on the 1.x branch. So maybe it won't appear again. But release 1.7.
Not entirely related. I had a quick question. When you have a deployment that's precompiled and you want to redeploy just one module, is it possible, or do you have to redeploy the whole thing?
When it's precompiled, you mean?
Yes.
Yes, you can.
So what's the proper way of deploying just one module?
When it's precompiled again.
Yes.
Okay, let me see what's the issue.
You can maybe select the DLLs in Visual Studio in the preview window.
Yeah, but deploy them where?
No, in the bin. Precompile just means that it won't compile a project. It will just pick the most recent DLL between app dependency and the bin of the module.
Is there anything that you should do with the dependencies folder?
No, because when you restart, it will load all the assemblies, and loading means calling every extension loader and ask them what DLL should I take. And for the dynamic one, it will say I have nothing to do. But for the precompiled one, which is before, the precompiled one will be asked, what do you want to do for this module? It will say, oh, there is an assembly in the bin. Oh, and you have it in the app dependency folder. Which one is the most recent one? The one in the bin? Okay, so take the one in the bin and put it in app dependency. That's what it will say. Dynamic compilation is about creating a DLL based on the project.
So I'm asking because I've made a few deployments these past few days, and I've had to delete the dependencies folder every time.
Okay.
Because of locks on some of the files in dependencies. So it was trying to write something in dependencies, and I haven't completely understood why it was doing that.
Maybe there is a bug with the locking somewhere. Maybe it's IIS which locks the DLL, and I don't know. If open a bug, and just to ensure we can test that it works when we push a new DLL inside the module, and it's taken.
Yeah, I would have to figure out a reliable repro.
But technically, yeah. I can say it works because that's how I do for my websites. I just override the DLLs and not in the dependency, just in the modules.
Yeah, there might be something particular about my environment.
You remember we had seen together some issues on your hosting, and it was some file which were locked. The folder was locked, you could not even delete it, and after some time you could delete it.
Okay, thanks.
So badly behaving modules from the gallery should be automatically invalidated. So this is about, so that there is two badly behaving. There is the bad behavior, like malwares or things like that. That's an issue because that's a security risk.
That's just about a module that just happens to not work on 1.6.
Yes, and there is this one, and yes. So I think we should close it and explain that it will be fixed with the next gallery version when we have a next gallery version, but we won't do anything with the current version. Or should it be open for a future version? Because
but it's not about that. It's not about that. I think it's something similar to what also I created another issue about when the module itself, when you already install the module, for example, throws a huge amount of exceptions, or for example, it's missing some dependencies, or it's crashing the instance.
Quality. Okay.
In some way, so we should automatically disable it, or just like propose here, I think, having a threshold of some errors that can happen.
On WordPress, I checked, I can show you, it's interesting, plugins. What they have is interesting. You see here, compatibility. You see not enough data? This is very interesting. One person says it works. So you don't say for which version a module is working. You let people say if it works or not. So you could happen to have, like, everyone says it doesn't work on any version, and then you know that it doesn't work on any version.
And you could actually integrate that into the feature screen where let's say you recently installed a module. It could actually start asking you, okay, so does it work? You know?
Yep. So I think it's a good idea to have this, because you can't rely on the modules developer to tell you, to tell the gallery if it works on a specific version or not, because he will say yes or no, and it's not reliable. And,
yeah, but it's one thing. So some user feedback is like JetBrains does with the ReSharper EAP. So if it works and how it works. But the second thing is when, for example, you have a very specific combination of modules, and in that situation, that module that is perfect, for example, for other users, is not exactly working for you because of some clashes.
We can't handle or just add how do we know? Like you put advanced menu and you put the main menu, the default one, maybe that there are some clashes, and how do we know?
Yeah, but I'm saying about clashes. So when you have unhandled exceptions that originate from, for example, from a module that we can, it was suggested that we can, for example, count the number of errors that happen.
I think
unhandled exception is something bad.
Yeah, but we can't solve the compatibility issues between plugins first. We can't do that. Nobody can do that.
I know, but just not to have the yellow screen of death being
okay.
displayed.
Then what we suggest is that if we can provide a way into the gallery to mark a module as doesn't work with any version or with this version or whatever, this is better, and this solves the issue, because then before downloading you see, 5 users reported that it doesn't work with 1.6, so let's not install it, and 5 users reported it doesn't work with not any version, meaning this module doesn't work at all. So
yeah, this is a great combination of various data points that an end user would want to see in order to make that decision, including being able to contact the authors. I mean, it's all there.
Yeah, and you see, so what they do in WordPress is just they say, we can't say if it works on a specific version because we have a threshold of number of people who have to say it works before we say it works. So we have the information about number of people, and also like, okay, if 10 people say it works, let's say it works with this version.
That's great.
And you have the combination between all the plugin versions and the WordPress version.
How did they do that?
I don't know, maybe in WordPress you can check something in the features.
When you upload the gallery?
When you use it. It's not when you upload the gallery. It has to be from an installation of Orchard. Mm-hmm. Because what is nice is that if the module doesn't work, you will never get a check like it works. So, actually you can also say in WordPress if it's broken. So it's interesting.
No, we should definitely copy this.
So yeah.
Yeah, but it's one thing because, for example, you have a module that is not from the gallery. So what I meant is to have some way in Orchard to prevent breaking the whole instance by a single module. So we should forcibly, for example, disable it or something. So it won't bomb the whole thing, and we, for example, couldn't access the dashboard at all to disable it or to change some wrong data.
Maybe that could be like a sandbox mode or safe mode of working, like if there is something, but I don't think it can be automated by Orchard because it will result into some issues, because it will kick in and it disable a module, but because it thinks it doesn't work and actually the exception is expected, or I don't know. And but
something needs to happen.
So there are two issues here, which is how to detect a module is badly behaving and we have to disable it automatically. And second, how can we give people the information about the behavior of a module on a specific version of Orchard. So,
for example, we could make sure that the admin screen is always accessible. So even if something wrong happens, you have a safe mode version of the admin that you can enable or disable something.
I'm answering this bug and saying that we should handle it like WordPress does. And if you can, Piotr, create a new issue suggesting that we have a safe mode. And I'm sure we have already the issue actually.
You can use the command line. I don't know.
Sometimes you can't. Sometimes you can't. Like you host it somewhere else, you can't use it. Or we need a remote command line. Yeah. This we don't have today. So I think Piotr, we already have the issue, the task about having a safe mode like this. Maybe you created it.
You know, I created. I can change the other issue because I created a. We'll get to that point because it's in the proposed. So, but I wrote only about when the module is missing a dependency, so it should be disabled. But I can extend it or create a new issue, maybe.
So I activated it for a future version and commented. Enabled features with missing disable dependency should be automatically disabled.
When you
that's that one.
Through the Orchard features stuff, out of interest.
Sorry?
When do you think you're going to look to go through the Orchard futures?
In the future?
Oh, all right.
I'm very busy. Bertrand is very busy. Maybe never.
Okay.
Yeah, we haven't defined it, and it's been 1 month. We have said that.
No. Oh, I just wondered. That was all. That's fine.
Yeah.
I know you guys are very busy. That's all.
We are doing some features right now.
No, I realise.
All of us. And last times, what we did, you remember, for 1.6, we did what we had to do, and then we fixed all the bugs. I fixed them actually. It took me 2 months, and it was very hard. Maybe that's how we do usually. We fix bugs in the end. And we could have some ideas for new feature in Orchard Futures, but right now we have a lot of features, so we are kind of
absolutely.
No, but
that was all.
Just to talk about it and to
Yeah.
Oh, by the way, I need to write something talking about talking. Okay. Enable features with missing disable. I kind of agree. I don't know. I don't understand why it's not the case today. So the issue is that if you disable a module, all modules dependent on those ones should be disabled too.
No, that's if the dependency doesn't exist at all.
Sorry?
If the dependency doesn't exist at all.
At all?
If it's not there.
Yeah, so for example, you updated your module and you added a new dependency to that module, to that feature. And that dependency is disabled right now, but your module is enabled. Orchard won't enable the dependency.
Okay, this one I agree, because we had a related one, which was when you develop and you change the module txt, that's an issue. That's a developer issue. That's your issue. But there is a bug if it's when you deploy a new version. Okay?
What do you mean by new version? But
when you deploy, okay, so the bug is
it's easily reproducible, because just add a dependency. So you have two modules and add a dependency to one of them to some disabled module and try to run the instance. It will blow. If that dependency is used somewhere. So for example, I have a module that's dependent on tags, and I use something from tags, some code from tags module, and it will blow because it won't find anything in a container from that particular dependent feature. So it's out of hack.
Okay, I opened it. fields of type taxonomy added to content type doesn't display correctly.
There's a screenshot. As a Word document. That's a good sign.
No, it's just you have multiple screenshots and
Yeah, must be it. Yep. 6 pages. Yeah, that's in French. Okay.
Yeah. I don't understand what the problem is.
oh, here it
Yeah.
removed.
Spacey.
Oh,
Okay.
that hasn't removed it on the one below it.
Yeah,
So it's
that is weird.
Display. Oh yeah. Oh, I think there is a issues between camel casing and removing the types and everything in the same time, and in the end, it's okay.
We can look at that for 1.7. If we're putting taxonomies in 1.7, that is.
Yes. And we don't need to go to features to know that we have to do that.
Yeah, select the value instead of an average.
Yeah, that would help, wouldn't it?
So, okay, is it a bug or I didn't follow you?
No, just fix the typo in the title. Bug.
Oh, well, okay.
Also fix the typo in the title.
I think that bug actually been reported somewhere else, but I can't remember where.
I was here, Bertrand, so you see, I had a bug. Here you go.
Yeah, the thing is, it's more a feature than a bug. Currently, if you create a new localized document, the default version is the default site structure, but it's not necessarily the way you organize your site. Some sites actually have default cultures that are different for different documents. So it would be the additional feature of being able to say, yeah, the default version of that document is French, for example, without having to change the whole site's default culture.
I don't think it's his issue. His issue is that he doesn't want the English version, he just wants a French version for this one.
Yeah, that too. You can't have that.
And is it possible right now with localization?
I don't
To,
think it is.
You don't know, or you don't think?
I don't think.
Yeah, that's how it was designed. There is a main content item, and translations are other content items related to this main one, based on the main culture of the website.
Yeah. So it is a limitation that people are hitting.
Mm-hmm. Registration screen should have captcha option. Who doesn't agree? In general, registration screen should be extensible.
Yeah, I agree with that.
So my design idea was that logon is a part. Okay, we use a fake content item in edit mode to render the login form. This way, you can add more fields or more parts to this content item, and they will be rendered on the front end. So you can ask for more information during the login or registration.
That would be much better than using wrappers, wouldn't it? Because I think for my OpenAuth module, I use wrappers.
By the way, if it comes to CAPTCHA, we talked about it with Zoltán today that the reCAPTCHA part should contain some options for it to be disabled when displayed on the admin page. So, for example, we have the reCAPTCHA part attached to our custom form, and when I want to edit a submitted form, the reCAPTCHA part also is displayed on the admin.
I agree. Yeah, I know. I saw that too.
And okay, and another thing, I don't remember. Zoltán, what was the other thing?
I can't remember it either.
Firebug.
That was the most important.
Firebug. Is it fine?
We haven't raised an issue yet about it, but we will. Okay.
Delete query crashes a database. Okay, don't delete it. Azure Orchard 165 configure present appeal after. Is it English? Let me. I have to decipher the data.
Well, I think you can close. This is not an Orchard bug. It should
I install module.
be open against rendering.
And I must.
That's
Okay.
That's not an Orchard bug.
I like those ones. Let's see what I can do. Article and with default and semi-default value. This I don't agree. I think I discussed it on the forum. There's a misconception about with default.
Yeah.
When trying to add default with an existing column, the default value is not saved. Oh, this is legitimate. It's okay. This one is different. I was afraid. No, it's okay. There it is. Again. Okay, this is the same issue actually, I think. This domain, is that you, Adrian? No, yes? Not the same. So, content item does not contain a definition for content item. Clay sharp. There is no more clay, so we don't care. Close it. I think I saw it and we fixed it. No, you saw.
Yeah. You fixed it and you have broken the breadcrumbs with it, but there's still this exception with deeper breadcrumbs.
I'll check then. It's bad. So before we end with the triage, because we are reaching the goal, do you have some issues you want us to triage? Because you seemed like you were blocked by the triaging. Zoltan or Benedek?
No.
Nothing in particular.
So let's do some demos now. We fixed 17 issues. We triaged 17 issues, that's a lot.
We have to rest now.
Yeah, so I want some demos. So demos are Piotr, myself, and I also want to talk about a module which is not on the gallery because there is a bug, it can't be pushed on the gallery. I'm investigating on this one. This module is called Bootstrap Admin Theme. A guy made a theme using Bootstrap on the admin, and it's interesting.
What was his name?
Piotr. His name is Piotr, but not our Piotr. Another Piotr. Piotr, I can tell you. Piotr, where is he? Piotr is well known actually. We know him. Piotr. I can't find him. Let me see. This one. Piotr Dabrowski.
Oh, it's the guy who created the mini profiler module.
Okay.
Okay.
So he made a Bootstrap admin theme. Interesting the way he did it. He did that. He did it as a module. I learned something. How would you do that? How would you make a module which will override the admin theme?
You would have to, I think, you would have to plug into the extension manager and change the type to the theme.
Nope.
Nope.
Nobody knows? Very simple. Nope.
Change the theme provider.
You can change actually the name of the theme. It's not iTheme selector, but that's something like that, which returns the name. Maybe that's a iTheme selector, but not the one we know, the one for the admin. And
the provider pattern that you use for the
that's a
theme.
filter. That's a filter actually. That's a filter. That's overriding a filter, and very interesting. That then it just gives back the name of of itself. Oh, use myself as an admin theme, and it works. It's very nice. And so his idea was about not breaking anything and still providing the plugins from Bootstrap for anything you want in the admin. It's nice. So
Can you show it?
what?
Can you show it?
No, but when it will be online, I will give you a pointer to that. I think it's interesting, at least for discussing. And he wanted to make a pull request to change everything, but I told him that we need to talk about what we want inside this admin module and what we want to provide as plugins for all the developers. I'm sure we can provide a lot, but we need a decision. Common decision on that. So yeah, we'll talk about that later. It's interesting. I'm just mentioning that.
Yeah, Bootstrap for admin, it would be so cool. You know, there are already lots of themes based on Bootstrap that it would be just 5 minutes of work to have a different admin theme without actually downloading Ocha theme, but having something from like Wrap Bootstrap or Bootstrap Swatch or something like that. So
My own opinion would be just to have at least a nicer admin theme with more behaviors, more plugins to display nice stuff, and the theming of the theme is a different matter for me. I mean, in terms of core churn. I don't care about your customer scenarios, you know. I just care about core churn.
Yeah, exactly. You know, having those pop-ups and buttons and drop-downs and everything, it would be so cool to have. Yeah.
So I will show you. I will show you the module I made. Projects Orchard SRC web modules. Okay, and I run. Oh, I broke everything. Because I'm in Visual Studio and I copy pasted it directly. Cannot be loaded, I need to build it. And you can see this, and I won't click on that one. Building.
You serious? MySQL creator says not to use MySQL. Huh. Interesting.
And isn't that a good advice?
Yeah, use the fork MariaDB instead. It's faster and more stable.
MariaDB?
Maria, MariaDB.
And is there a LuigiDB as well?
No.
That's what I read on Twitter. Interesting.
It's like every time I want to do a demo, it's so slow.
Something's at 9. What am I rushing?
What's happening again?
Anti-malware. That is a pain in the ass, that service.
It's every time I'm doing the demo. I think it's based on the date and time because
kill it off. Just kill it off.
Yeah, it's going back.
Maybe you have a rootkit installed.
Yeah.
By somebody here.
Windows 8.
Oh, that's a better rootkit.
No, it's faster now. So modules. I'm sure it's back. You see, it's back.
Kill it off again.
Oh, it's not compiling. It's a nice demo.
Oh, you use a Dell. Huh. Okay.
Stop it. How can I say stop it? I have a pop-up sometime and I want to catch it.
Bertrand, did you write the anti-malware stuff, and is that why you...
So, Piotr, do your demo. Can you do your demo,
Okay.
Piotr? I will work on this offline because it's a shame.
Happens. So, where is that? Okay, which monitor? This one. All right. So let me open it up. Can you see the screen?
Not yet.
Okay.
Can you?
Oh,
No.
here it comes. It's loading.
Okay. Give me a second. Oh, I need to rebuild it. Just wait a second. Come on. One more second. Okay, it's here. So the UI is pretty.
Okay, I can't see
There's-
it. It's just a big black screen at the moment.
Yeah, me
Okay.
too.
Okay.
So tell me, just tell me when you can see the screen.
Maybe you should restart sharing because it's loaded but it's blank.
Okay, stop sharing. Oh God. Oh, those demos are Murphy's law is against us. Okay, can you see the screen now? Can you see the screen?
It's loading.
Okay.
I'm getting meeting timeout now.
Yeah, me too. You know, I will try to switch from the web app.
Sebastian is gone.
Yeah, I think he's either rebooting or switching to the standalone app, the link app. So I will do the same and rejoin, and because it's the web app sucks so much.
All right.
Okay.
We should continue doing Star Wars jokes in the meantime.
That's a good idea.
That's the best demo Piotr has ever done.
But it's probably the shortest he's ever done.
That too. Yeah, true that.
Okay, maybe it will work better right now. Okay, so I will try to share the screen.
Shh, he's back.
Yeah, I'm back.
We can talk about Sebastian in the meantime.
Yeah.
Did you know it's French?
Oh. What?
No.
Okay, so can you see the screen right now? Please tell me that you can see. Okay.
I can tell you, but I would be lying.
Nope, I can see it now.
I can see it.
Oh yeah.
I
Yeah.
can see.
Cool. All right. So okay. So this feature is kind of the UI is a bit small right now There is nothing more than that. So basically what this feature is about, it's about creating shapes and alternates for shapes. And alternates for shapes that are being stored in a database. And yeah, so it's basically all about this feature. But it's quite powerful. So for example, I created, I will delete those and I will create some new one. So let's create a new shape. Let's call it funny or something else, but let's call it funny. So, and what you have here is a resizable razor editor with a syntax highlighting. So for example, I would like to create my shape called funny with like hello user, hello work context, current user, username, and let's make it bold so we will have some HTML here. And let's save it. And for example, you would like to display it somewhere. So you can use this as a using display using new.funny. It's a shape as everything else, as a shape declared in code. And you can, for example, create now. I'll create a new shape because alternates always have to have double underscore signs. Create new shape called badge of honor. So this is the shape of this is the shape that is used on the to display this part here. So if I create a new shape here, it will override everything. It will even override the shapes that are coming from a theme. I hacked the extension manager, I think, a bit. So I hacked it so it thinks that those shapes that come from here come from a theme. So he is not trying to use the theme, the actual theme shapes as an override. So you basically override all the shapes here. So I created, and what you have on the top is the original content, is the current content of the shape. So you can it's read only, but you can see what's there currently. So I'll copy paste it and change it. So for example, let's say I will delete it. Let's say I want to display the new shape I created. Display the funny. I think it's okay. New dot funny without any arguments. And
That funny should have worked the same.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I'm pretty tired. So yeah, it will probably work. If you now go to this page and refresh it, it should display hello admin from the shape we just created. This is the user shape. So this is the different one. But what you can see here, we just created an overall shape. The badge of honor shape, displaying the shape that's currently created in the module, so it doesn't exist on a disk. It's not a file. So it's pretty cool. And if I could open those two windows side by side, so you can, so I wouldn't have to switch all the time. So let's display it like this. So if I, for example, edited, so when you save the okay, so let's say it, let's write something, something. When you save it,
is it a bug that the original shape now shows your latest version?
Yes.
Oh yeah, it's a bug. Yeah. I noticed it. It's about the ordering of the bindings.
Boo.
Because I'm using the bindings. Yeah, Sebastian, we can hear you. So it's It's an ordering of bindings, so I just taken the first binding, but it's after you create your overridden shape, it's incorrect because the first one is the new shape then. So yeah, and if you save it, it's gonna display here automatically. So it's refreshing the cached shape table automatically. So what it does under the hood is it uses the Razor Engine library, tweaked a bit by me to use the Razor to be compatible with Razor 2.
That's unacceptable. We can take something that you tweaked a bit.
Why? It works. It works. So it's just for compatibility with Razor 2 and MVC4, and yeah, that's it. There is also an option to create shape alternate. So, for example, I can take content. So this is the list of all shapes currently declared in the system, with alternates being filtered out. So I call alternate something that contains the double underscore in a name.
Should that be something like a combo instead of a drop down if you want?
It should. You know, I wasn't focusing on the UI right now, but on
sure.
the basic functionality. But I will definitely work on the UI. So if I take a shape called
because you should be able to type a shape name that's not in the list, right?
Yeah, but it's so that's why for the demo purposes I separated it into two separate windows.
Oh, okay.
So one is create new shape, and the second is create shape alternate. So
even if you want to create an alternate for a shape that is not visible in this dropdown, you still want to use this screen.
It has to be. So it's the list of every shape in the system. So I'm using the shape table.
You can't know that it's before this.
Yes.
If a shape is created on the fly from a template, you won't see it yet.
Okay.
For example, can you see funny?
Yeah, but
Yeah.
But
Yeah,
it's not an alternate.
It's here. It's here. It's here. You can choose it. You can choose it because.
But if you go and edit your shape and do display new, I don't know, .nic, for example, that won't be in there.
Here.
Go at display and then open brackets.
No,
new.nic.
it won't. I think there should be only one screen with a text box and maybe some autocomplete to be able to choose from existing shapes. They are not alternates; they are shapes.
Yeah, I know. But for just for the purpose of the demo, I just separated it. But it should be definitely a single screen for creating a shape or shape alternate, which is just a shape with underscores, which is being used. If there is an alternate declared on this blade or somewhere else. So I will work on the UI for sure. But there are a couple of nice additional features I also created. So, for example, if you let's create a shape alternate for example, the content page, which is I know that this alternate will work for the page. So what you have here is the Razor code, but what you have below is the list of available properties on a model that you can use creating your own version of your alternate. I'm using regex to go through the code of the shape and extract all calls to model.something, all setting or usages of model.something. So because everything is dynamic, so I don't have a real good way to know what things you can use. So
there's only one good way, and this is not the good one. The good one
to display the shape.
Yeah, the only good way is to have some metadata in the shape, in the template, describing like a jQuery doc.
And I was thinking about suggesting something like that. So extending a shape. So, for example, we could have a display name for a shape or description. So, for example, when you have a list of shapes like on a previous screen, so a drop down, I could display some meaningful name. So content shape could have a description. This shape displays a content of a content item, or something like this. And just for for developers, but we should maybe we could add some things like this. And for example, available properties, like we have available zones for a theme, so some kind of way to describe the available things. I used the regex because it was the simplest solution, because the next step I wanted to do is to user to be able to define alternates, available alternates for his shape. So if you create a shape called funny, you could, for example, create define the alternate based on one or more available properties from a model. This way I could automatically, and using the dynamics, define the alternates on displaying event.
There is another way to know what's available, which is to actually run it, and place where you do have that information, that shape tracing.
Yeah, but what you did in shape tracing, you have to display a shape, but you don't have what data to provide to it in order to for it to display properly.
No, what I'm getting at is that maybe that tool should be integrated in shape tracing rather than being...
yeah, it should be. It should.
And in that case, then you have that information, and you don't need to extract it.
Yeah, but you have that information when you actually view that shape, when that shape gets rendered somewhere. But right. It's not. If it's not rendered anywhere, you just have a list of the names of shapes. You don't have a way to do that.
Yeah, but I think it's still better than trying to hack it.
I think Bertrand's right. I think this would be really good at inside shape tracing.
What do you think, Sebastian?
As we always said, we can't have it in the shape tracing.
Okay.
Because you can break stuff from the front end, and then you are stuck.
Can't we avoid that?
Yes, some kind of admin side of it should be.
And you know how much I like things in the front end.
Well, you did shape tracing.
Yeah, that's just a debugging tool. That's not you can't edit anything inside.
Well, you can create alternates.
We should remove it too.
I think shape tracing should be extended. And this is a good example of where it could be extended to.
Yeah, but there are particular scenarios in which it won't work with shape tracing. For example, you don't want to, you need to override particular shape, but you don't know where it is actually displaying. So you would have to have a way to easily look up the places in which, for example, a page on which the shape is being used, and go to that page. So the shape tracing will then pick that shape up and display you the necessary data. But you don't always know. Yeah. So for example, if there is a shape that it's not being displayed anywhere, for example, right now, so you won't have to. You won't have a way to play with that.
Okay.
So there's particular scenarios.
Is there a way, maybe, something with drivers to get drivers to give us that information?
Yeah, but you will have
even if you need to manually select a driver, that I don't know.
There is other way, and I will probably go for it at some point. So not to use regexes, but to use the compiler and, for example, and go through the shape and actually check the properties of, try to hack it in some way, because if the property is not being used, but on the other hand, I don't think that this approach is that bad. Because actually, if the property is there, but it's not being used, so we don't. Okay, you should know about it. But if it's not being used, maybe it means that it's not that usable, or it's obsoleted, or something like this. So I don't know. We have to think about it. I just wanted to show one more thing about these shapes. So especially what happens when you try to override the shape that's declared in code. So let's say I create a shape alternate for a zone, or the metadatas. It was called content metadatas or something like that.
I like the zone example. Because
But you won't like what you will see because of the compilation of the dynamic calls. It sucks so much. Okay, but let's say
That's usually one we override because there is too much noise with a zone. Same thing with widget wrappers.
So if I hit save, it takes a couple seconds for the decompiler to run. So what you actually this trash you see here, it's all the calls to dynamics. How do they look like under the hood? And I haven't seen a good tool. I'm using the C# code decompiler tool with conjunction with the Mono Cecil PDB reader. So I'm utilizing the PDBs if they're available. If not, I'm just using the data from the decompiler. But still, if I use either PDB or data or just the raw decompiler data, still those things are getting displayed here. So maybe I'll use regex and
maybe you don't try to do anything and done.
No, it's just the preview to just see what. So there is an output, right? Yeah, it's one line that's actually human understandable, but no, there is tag builder here, and so it's.
You can also crack it open in Visual Studio and get that same information.
Yeah, you can, but
I mean, I understand that you're having a lot of fun doing that.
Yeah,
it's kind of awesome. On the other hand, it may be a little overkill.
Yeah, it is. I know. Dynamics are very hard to decompile, but in some cases, for example, let's say there is if you don't have dynamics here, if you don't use dynamic call anywhere, it's exactly the same code as you have on the
as you could get by opening Visual Studio.
Yeah, if for example you're not working on if you have it running on some hosting environment and you just used gallery, you just push the
write some documentation how to override a zone.
Yeah, that would be more useful.
Cool. It's just you always write Razor.
If you do that, you will scare your customers who are the designers.
Yeah, I know. By showing this part, yeah.
So let's find a better way to integrate some documentation into your module, so that you can pick documentation and you can extend the documentation, so that when you select a zone, then you have a nice documentation about what a zone is and how to use it and what properties you can access, and some examples, so that in your shape content editor, you can do what you want. It's more meaningful, yeah.
Yeah, I'll just in a final version, this piece of code will be hidden somewhere. So only if someone wants to access this data, he could. He will be able to do that. But it shouldn't be displayed to a user. I agree totally.
I fork it, I remove it, and I ship it.
Okay. So
this is really useful. This is great.
Thanks.
But stop.
Yeah, but it needs a bit love when it comes to UI.
So maybe
I will resize it.
I'm looking forward to the next demonstration next year.
No, it won't take that long. This time. Yeah, I'm just so focused on finishing this one and pushing it to the gallery because I know that it's pretty usable, but I have to run a couple tests about the performance because the Razor Engine module actually what it does, it compiles your shapes. And what is the difference between actual shapes from CSHTML files is that when you change the CSHTML file, you have the abdomen reloaded. And what happens here is the new, the dynamic assembly is being loaded into the current abdomen. So it's memory. It's not memory leak, but you don't have a way to unload assembly from a running abdomen. So that's the problem. So if you do a lot of edits and create a lot of and start changing those shapes a lot, you will probably at some point limit the hit the memory limit. So, but in this case, the up pools should get recycled automatically if you set the IIS properly. And so that shouldn't be a problem, but every edit of a shape adds some memory that won't be
isn't there
can get back.
Isn't there a config setting to actually limit the number of compilation events? I think this is used by ASP.NET, which itself does compilation on the fly without restarting the abdomen, and they have the same problem.
I have to read more docs about it, and probably
ask.
But
let me ask you. I will ask the guy, and he will tell what to do. What's the best way to do that?
Yeah, Ebo is the specialist.
And if he doesn't know, I ask Levi. With them, you have all the answers on the world.
Oh, that'd be great. Because this module, the library that I'm using, the Razor Engine, it's just it's doing the compilation under the hood, and I will have to rewrite a couple of things to because I don't have a way to interact with the actual compilation. I think there are some extension points, but I haven't gotten to it yet. I may have to dig deeper into that library, but for sure I have to see what the performance is, because I'm pretty sure it will be much faster than the Razor shapes, but I'm not sure.
No, it can't. So, it's compiled. What can you do more than compile?
Okay. All right, so it will be the same.
The Razor engine is just generating a C# file like it's doing in the web form template engine, and then it's using the compiled class. So there is a more Razor.
Yeah. So the performance will probably be exactly the same, but I think with less overhead from the OChat side of things, because the shape binding strategy that I'm using here is very similar to the shape binding strategy used for the attributes, the shape attribute, the methods with shape attribute. So there is a lot less overhead from OChat side. So you don't have to do harvest on all the CSHTML files and look up and monitor changes, and so it might be a bit faster just because of that. But
yes, but it's not by adding stuff that you will make things faster. And here you are just adding new stuff, which is interesting, but so you can't make things faster. It can be faster than what is done already, but it's done on top of what is done already. So.
Yeah, but I'm not using the.
No, you're not using, but okay. It's there. You are not using, but Orchard is using it all the time. So you won't make it faster just by adding something else.
But what I'm trying to say is.
It's fast, nice, but don't say it will be faster.
I will try to do something like this to move all the shapes that are currently there to database, but in some kind of a loop or something, to have only this way of having shapes in Orchard, and we'll disable the default template binding strategy and see how it behaves in comparison. So only database shapes and the normal shapes.
It's useless. Don't waste your time. Find a girlfriend or a new one and use your time for useful things.
Okay. Yeah, I have a lot more of those to do. Yeah.
Don't discourage Piotr, please.
What?
Don't discourage Piotr, please.
No, I'm not discouraging. Focusing. Focus.
Your fans take a lot of time.
Focus.
It's more useful to do some Orchard modules. So Piotr, please don't have a girlfriend. Instead, create some modules.
Okay, I'll tell her to go away. Yeah. Okay, so that's basically all about this module. It's simple, but I think it will get useful. There is a couple of things to do yet, but
Very nice.
we're good right now.
Thanks.
Cool. Thanks.
I'll show you my stuff next week. It's working, but it's too late.
What is it?
No, the layouts next week.
Oh, the projection layouts.
Yes.
Okay. Okay.
I need to add some decompilation first, and
It was just the funny feature.
Do you have any news or anything, Bertrand?
Use about what?
No, I said, do you? Do we have any news? Any Orchard news?
Well, yeah, there are some news that I'm not sure I should be doing. So, in doubt, I will say nothing until next week.
Oh, if it's that, then yeah.
Yeah, I would prefer actually for him to. I'll remain mysterious.
which is worse than anything. Okay,
Yeah,
see you next week.
I have some news too, but I like exactly as Bertrand. I cannot say more, but there is a. So I was. I'm getting. No, I don't have to, but there is a big governmental agency from one of the biggest European countries using Orchard for all the internal stuff. So
Poland is not very big.
No. Okay, yeah, from this country is on an island. Yeah.
Malta.
A big island.
A big country in an island.
Yeah. Okay. So yeah, and they're using Orchard. So that's all I all I can say right now.
And you help them?
Yep.
So they won't ship? Okay, cool.
No, it's not going to be that bad.
No, it won't ship. Oh, maybe we'll have a demo next week. Next year, sorry.
Very funny.
I'm always funny.
You know? Yeah, I know.
You see, focus.
Okay, well, I think we're done here. Unless you have more abuse to.
Yeah, I have a small story I actually can talk about.
We're not interested. If you can talk about it, it's...
That's what I referred to in the beginning.
Okay, so go ahead.
I've given a session today on a PHP meetup group. So from next week I will be doing Drupal, so bye guys. No, not that one. But I demoed PHP scripting in Orchard. So that was an interesting experience. There were some pretty harsh questions then, but that's
you
very
went
cool thing.
you
Like
went
what?
to a PHP meeting. Oh god.
Yeah.
You get punched in the face.
No, I was doing PHP 8 years long, so I was not an alien there.
He's 17 years old, but it's okay.
I was a clever kid. Yeah. So yeah. All in all, the outcome was that there were a couple of guys interested in Orchard, who, by the way, were both .NET and both PHP developers, and they were looking to Orchard. So I'm just curious what will come out. But I think this is a novel thing that Orchard on a PHP meetup.
Nice. Yeah.
And by the way, for that, I've also set up a testing site for scripting. So if you would like to try it out,
It gives me an idea for a new module. Maybe we could do WordPress as a module in Orchard in an iframe. And
that's not a new idea. That's not a new idea. We've been discussing with Zoltan for a couple of weeks ago, and actually,
okay, stupid idea.
Doable.
Okay,
Yeah, it's not a good idea either.
But it's doable. There is a WordPress, the WP.NET version, so a compiled version.
What scares me is that it was a joke, and it's like you seriously thought about that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's true.
It was. Yeah, but it was we were thinking about it as a joke too, but actually to build it and as a joke.
And then you had a couple of drinks and things went downhill from there. Yeah. Okay, great. So that was fun. I don't know if we've achieved much today, but well, we'll try again next week. Thanks for the demo and for coming today, and we'll talk next week. Bye bye.
See you.
Bye bye.
Bye guys.
See ya.